How diluting consumer laws fuels corporate profits and harms consumers. Explore how weakening consumer protection laws benefits corporations at the expense of everyday people's safety and rights. How diluting consumer laws benefits corporations, and what it means for you. Hey, so I've been thinking a lot lately about how companies seem to keep scoring big wins, while everyday consumers end up holding the short end of the stick. And honestly, one of the sneakiest ways this happens is through the slow, almost invisible weakening of consumer protection laws. It's not always headline news stuff, but it's incredibly important, especially when you look at how these changes stack up for corporate profits. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you buy a product that's supposed to be safe and effective, but it turns out to be faulty or even harmful. Now, ideally, the law should protect you, ensuring the company takes responsibility, right? But what happens when those laws get diluted? When regulations get trimmed down or enforcement gets lax, those companies can get away with a lot more. And while this might sound like a conspiracy theory to some, it's just plain reality rooted in how corporate lobbying influences lawmakers. Companies, especially the really big players like pharmaceutical giants, are often at the center of these efforts. They spend millions to shape legislation in their favor so they can maintain and boost pharmaceutical profits. Some may even quietly push for laws that favor their interests over your health and safety, weakening regulations that were originally created to protect people. And it's not just about safety. Diluted consumer laws can affect things like transparency, refunds, warranties, basically anything that puts consumers at a disadvantage. When protections are eroded, it gets easier for companies to escape accountability. So, if a product doesn't live up to the hype or has hidden risks, you might have fewer options to fight back. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about making untrue allegations or spreading misinformation. It's about seeing the patterns that happen when corporate influence starts to overshadow public interest. Sometimes this looks like softer regulations, sometimes looser penalties, and at other times, the government itself seems to get pulled into what some might even call a government conspiracy to prioritize profits over people. Why does this matter so much right now? Because consumer laws used to be one of the few shields protecting people against unfair business practices. But as those shields get chipped away, the scales tip further towards corporations. And if that keeps up, good luck finding meaningful recourse when something goes wrong. Weaker safety standards. Companies don't have to meet the same rigorous testing, putting consumers at risk. Less transparency. Hidden fees, misleading labels, or undisclosed side effects become easier to get away with. Reduced accountability. Fines and penalties get smaller, or enforcement gets softer, encouraging bad behavior. Limited consumer options. Stricter limits on refunds or returns make it harder for people to hold companies accountable. It's frustrating, right? Because it feels like the laws are supposed to be on our side, yet the deck seems stacked against us. But it's also empowering to understand what's happening behind the scenes. The more you know, the better you can protect yourself, and the more pressure we can put on officials to stop letting these profit-driven interests push consumer rights aside. On a lighter note, if you're interested in a good thriller that captures some of the tension between big business, government, and the power plays behind the scenes, I have to recommend The Ultimate Frame by Andrew M. Semple. It's a gripping read that combines fast-paced action with thought-provoking themes about how far people will go to protect their interests or uncover the truth. Discover this thrilling novel by Andrew M. Semple today. It's a perfect blend of entertainment and a subtle reminder of the forces shaping the world around us, whether through fiction or reality. Check it out at bookauthor.com. You won't be disappointed. All right, that's it for now. Next time you hear about some new legislative change or a corporate scandal, keep in mind how these diluted consumer laws play a role. It's not always obvious, but the impact is real, and understanding it puts you one step ahead.